Live from Carrboro, it's the Chris or Jenny Show featuring Deej. That's me. Starring Scott Nurkin on WCOM LP, Chapel Hill, Carrboro.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening, Grateful Dave.
Just what you want to see on a Friday night when you look up
good
Deej.
timing.
The one and only Grateful Dave.
Grateful Dave Cottingham.
Oh, what's up, Dave?
All right.
I think he's messing around at the Cat's Cradle. Do you have a friend playing at the Cradle?
Yeah, I played.
Who's playing right
local.
now? Blue Steel.
Blue Steel?
Finished. Blue Cup Riot is just starting.
If you want to enjoy yourselves on a Friday night and you're not listening to our show, come to the Cat's Cradle for Blue Cup. What did he say, Deej?
Blue
Cup Riot.
Blue Club.
Blue Club.
Blue Cup Riot. Got on the sixth try. Yeah. No.
Dave, I've already had 7 Blue Cups.
No.
And Grateful Dave just dropped off some records.
Give us some
Deej.
vinyl records with a "My Name Is" sticker that says "Local Rock."
But I think the enthusiasts don't say vinyl records. They say vinyl or records, but not both. That's like saying,
Oh,
right? Is that an Scott, what do you think?
Sing-
From Australia and say vinyls.
it's like saying
Is that really
boxer
what they say in
underpants. Gotcha.
Records is fine, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks,
Scott
Grateful.
Nurkin says records is
All
fine.
right. Our guest is Man About Town, muralist, rock and roller.
Maybe the most talented man in Carrboro. I'm going to say it, Deej.
I have no counter argument.
I'll absolutely second that.
Scott,
Durham Bulls #1 fan, Scott Nurkin. Scotty,
Scott
welcome.
rolled in here with the 1988 version of the Durham Bulls hat, which we both
I like
admire.
it. Yeah.
I'm proud of you for recognizing that.
Welcome, Scott.
Thank you
All
for
right.
having me, fellas.
Yeah, have you ever been here?
Not physically inside of this building. Been outside of it many, many times.
Have you ever met Grateful Dave?
No, that guy looked awesome.
So that
Yeah.
was an exciting moment for probably you and
Probably,
Deej.
yeah,
and
for sure.
really, the whole town gets excited
Yeah.
when Dave's around.
Could tell he seemed very excited.
Before I met Grateful, I had an image in my head of what he would look like, and he looked exactly like what I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
It's
he would
pretty
look like.
straightforward.
A
Yeah.
guy named Grateful Dave should be wearing a tie-dye
Yeah.
at all times.
So
That's
Scott,
my boy.
Scott's wearing a pair of khaki-colored overalls with paint all over it. He looks the part.
Scott Nurkin is a muralist.
Yeah.
Like you just came from a job site.
Yeah.
I just came from a photo shoot.
Were you the subject?
I was
or
in the photo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Being a muralist is painting massive pictures on walls, huge buildings,
Right.
etc.
I'm looking at one right now.
Start at the beginning.
I didn't do that one.
I know that's my third
That is
question,
not
Deej.
mine.
Don't be so modest.
That's my no. It's not. It's not his
All
work.
right.
I will tell you exactly how I got started. I went to Carolina for art.
Okay.
And
Good school.
Heard of it?
Senior year.
Been there.
I majored in painting and drawing and got a BFA in art. towards the end of school, the guy raised his hand or said, "Raise your hand if you want to be a professional artist." And I was the only guy that raised my hand. And he said, "There's an internship offered with a guy named Michael Brown, who many of your listeners may know."
Michael Brown, folks.
Yeah, Michael Brown.
Google him. He's on the first page.
Well, if you've ever been to Chapel Hill before, you might have seen his murals. He did the pencil and the parade and the sea turtle, which is now gone, and the mural that was on the side of Lantern, which is now gone. Anyway, I became his intern, or I like to call it an apprentice, for, 2 years. And he sort of taught me everything I knew. That was 2002. Yeah, I worked for him painting murals for a while. And then at the same time, I was sort of playing in bands. So I was traveling a lot, touring a lot. So I sort of supplemented my income, afforded to go out on the road for 6 or 7 weeks or whatever at a time. Then I could come back and paint murals and then go back out on the road.
Cool.
It's basically not having a real job. But then we kind of parted ways amicably, and I just have been doing it ever since.
So go back though. So
Baby Scotty.
Little Scott walking around with the oversized overalls. Like, when does it? Okay, what's the difference between graffiti and a mural? And when do you start out painting on trash cans? Like, murals are huge. I mean, I don't know. Like, go back further is what I'm saying, I guess.
I can't go back further than what I just told you because I didn't.
I wasn't listening
Because he was 0 years old. That's all.
Until I took an internship with
like,
this guy.
but when you're 7, 8, 9 years old, are you like
all
painting
right,
the
man.
side of your parents' house?
No, nothing like that. I knew I always wanted to paint and be an artist. I mean, I had a really awesome mother that sort of fostered that enjoyment. So she put me in private art classes and stuff.
Is she no longer with us?
No, she's still here.
You're speaking past tense.
Did I?
Let's give her a
You said you had a mother, but that's okay. I mean, you did. You still do, but you used to too.
No, she's still around.
Miss Nurkin, I apologize. We
Jarlath,
love you.
She's an angel.
What's her name?
Jarlath.
Shout out to
It's
Jarlath.
an Irish name.
Nice. We love the Irish.
Yeah, so she was knew that I wanted to paint. I come from a family of 5 boys. I was the middle son. I was the only one that was interested in art or music. My other brothers didn't really care. So I was sort of like the quote unquote art son. And they, just always put me into that. So anyway, I did 2 things my entire life, which was play drums and paint. And I just tried to pursue those 2 things my entire life.
That's awesome. Where'd you grow up?
Charlotte,
NC, Deej.
Been there, heard of it.
You heard of it?
Yeah.
Hope so, guys. It's like 2 hours away.
2 hours away, Deej.
Yeah, it's not that far.
There's an IKEA there, right?
Home of the Charlotte Knights.
Gotcha.
Garbage.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
back
it's there.
to, again, so you make these
It is
beautiful
garbage.
paintings, massive paintings. To me, the scale is the interesting thing.
Yeah.
For example, today, my family, in preparation of tonight, strolled over with Jenny's family to the, Bow Bar, Deej.
Yep, been there.
You and I have had more than one T-Mini Martinis there.
Had a bow and a bar.
So on one side of Bow Bar building is an incredible piece of artwork by Scott.
I need to clarify that.
Please do.
Piece of artwork was actually created and designed by Amanda Barr, hence
Of Bo
half
Barr.
of Barr. There's John Bowman and
Bowen?
Amanda Barr,
Yeah.
who are a couple, though.
Yeah.
Amanda Barr created that image.
What's up, Amanda?
What's up, Amanda? And she asked me to paint that for her. So I actually, all I have to do with that particular mural is I painted her vision.
Cool.
So I can't take much credit for
How do these projects come together? So does someone like Amanda say, "Hey, man, this is my vision painted on the wall," or
Rarely.
more often it's
We want a mural. Scott, do your thing.
Kind of. That's
Is that more common?
often.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like 70-30. 70 being we don't know what we want. We have an idea. Very rarely is it somebody comes and says, "This is exactly what I want." It's all fleshed out, and they say, "Put that on the wall." That doesn't happen that often.
So back to the Bow Bar.
Yep.
Fine establishment. In fact, we might enjoy
Great
that
place.
establishment tonight after the show.
Who knows?
Who knows, Deej? On one side is the work that Scott just described. On the other side of the building appears to be a building
dumpster.
full of. No, it's very beautiful, but it's.
Casey Burns?
I don't know who the artist is. My guess is that it was done without permit. Like, where's the line, Scott, between a mural that you've done and signed and you're proud of and something that someone did in the middle of the night with graffiti and spray paint?
Well, I don't think you see a lot of that around here. I mean, I know what you're speaking of. All right, so graffiti first of all, it's come a very long way. So, like, it's a taboo thing to say graffiti. People, like, wince when you say graffiti.
Oh,
But graffiti is a
interesting.
whole completely different thing now.
Yeah.
Because people are very gifted now. There's absolutely lines of products catering to graffiti artists.
Yeah, I
It's,
agree.
Graffiti writing. And so it's a whole thing. And we're talking about really stellar work. So you see people that do like real trash stuff on garbage cans and they write their name real fast and it looks like garbage. But then you'll see somebody that does something that's absolutely worthy of a museum.
Yes.
They're completely different things. I didn't actually come from a graffiti background at all. Like I said, I worked with Michael Brown, and he taught me a lot about painting on a large scale. But I didn't even pick up a can of spray paint until like 2017.
Really?
Yeah. I was taught. Michael was always like, "That's cheating," or there's something's wrong with doing that. So I used tiny paintbrushes most of my career.
Interesting.
When Instagram came about, I started seeing people painting these murals all over the world that were hyper realistic and just incredible. And I thought, wait a second, maybe I should take another look at spray cans. And so I just adjusted. And so for the last 5 years, that's all I work with mostly. But when you say graffiti, the average person's like, ooh, graffiti is terrible.
Yeah.
But people that sort of pay attention to it and know what's going on realize that the guys that are doing it, the people that are doing it, women included, are just the talent is it's insane. And you go anywhere, Melbourne or Thailand or France, Sweden, wherever you go, and you're going to see stuff that is absolutely monumental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good work everywhere.
But not around here, unfortunately. I've seen some real trash stuff.
Scott, what's your local magnum opus? What should I go check out first? Where do you send them?
Magnum opus seems real heavy-handed, but I will say that my favorite mural that I've done in this town is the Elizabeth Cotton mural.
It's awesome. Libicott, it's a great mural.
Yeah.
And it's on the side of a cut above barbershop.
Okay.
Right down the street. from where Crooks
Rosemary.
used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Rosemary. Yep.
Yeah, behind
might
the.
be a different name, but yeah.
Okay.
You just go past Crooks on your right, you see it on the left.
Okay.
But yeah, that's part of the musician mural series that I've been doing. So that's
cool.
That's a big.
So how'd that come about? Where did they give you a picture of Libba and said make a mural of it, or did you?
The musician mural project came about. You guys have been in this town for a while.
Yeah. For the folks at home, tell us a little bit about Libba. She's locally well known, but just so everyone has the context.
Yeah, Elizabeth Cotton was. She grew up here. She was born in Carrboro. Well, Chapel Hill, which is now part of Carrboro.
About 100 years ago or so.
I don't think she's that old. I think it was probably in the 20s.
That's 100 years ago now, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Time flies, my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's exactly 100 years ago. Okay.
Do you want a
she was born
calculator?
about 100 years ago.
About? Yeah.
And she wrote this song, Freight Train, when she was 14, based on the same train line we hear every day if you live in this area.
Yeah. Recently entered into the Music Hall of Fame posthumously.
Yeah, she's getting finally recognized for her achievements. But she then kind of put her guitar away for, 40 years. She got married. She had kids. She was famously the nanny for Pete Seeger's children,
that's right.
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
But then in the 60s when blues revival started happening, people started discovering her. And the thing about her that was really unique, first of all, she played left-handed, which is kind of odd. And then she played upside down. The strings were not restrung, so your high E string is actually your bottom E string. And so she created
the Jimi Hendrix style?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
But it was Elizabeth Cotton style.
Right.
And people called it cotton picking because she had a very unique style of picking that, she created all on her own. She was self-taught, so it was very unique. That song's been covered by like a bazillion people.
But how does that whole mural project come together? So does someone come to you or do you apply?
Well, that's what I was going back to. How long have you guys lived in this area? Joe No Pepper's Pizza.
I've been here for 10 years.
I do.
Peppers was gone before I moved here.
I remember
but I'm aware
Peppers.
of it.
Okay, Peppers in the 90s, Peppers started as a guy named, or 80s, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like 86, 85, something like that. David Pepper Harvey started a pizza restaurant that was located in the center of Franklin Street for many, many years. And it was kind of had been ground zero for Chapel Hill coolness forever. Like everybody that worked there was either a bandmate or a musician or dated a musician or blah, blah, blah. And cut to a long way to like 2004 or 5, Pepper asked me to do a mural. They moved their location. And I proposed doing a mural of famous North Carolinians musicians. And so I did portraits of each of the musicians from their various towns. So there were people like Elizabeth Cotton, John Coltrane, Roberta Flack, et cetera, et cetera.
George Clinton?
He was there as well.
Yes.
Kannapolis.
Big fan.
And I painted their portraits and then put them in frames that I found in thrift stores. And so I painted a mural of North Carolina silhouette, and then I placed the the portraits of these various people in kind of proximity to where they were born. Peppers folded, unfortunately.
Sadly.
Yeah, very sadly. In like
it was good.
2010, 11, I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was
something
the
like
best
that.
place ever in the world.
And with it, a piece of Chapel Hill.
Yeah, for sure. The paintings ended up being bought by UNC School of Music by a guy named Mark Katz, who's the dean of School of Music. But it kind of put me on a long trajectory where I was like, I'm a muralist by trade. I love music. So it started this formulation of me thinking, I've got to do these things in these people's hometowns. So the first one was Coltrane. I'm a diehard Coltrane fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Hamlin, North Carolina, which is about this big around. And I was like, diehard, I got to get this mural of him in his town. So I tried for a little bit, but in 2019, I really tried hard. And we broke some ground there, and we got the first one up, and it sort of set us on our way. And after him came Don Gibson and Earl Scruggs and Shelby, and then after him came Roberta Flack. And I've done 15 at this point.
That's killer.
I'll do 15 more in the next 2 years.
That is so cool.
Cool.
We live in a town where there's, in my opinion, a lot of cool, huge art. Three of my favorites, the Mural Hall of Fame, are all Scott Nurkin.
Oh, come on.
And it's I'm just going to tell you right now, it's the Libba Cotton that we already talked about.
Very cool.
Check.
The Dean Smith mural,
yeah.
like on your way in from Chatham. Is that Chatham? To
Between here and Walmart.
Between here and Walmart is a great Dean Smith mural.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the freaking Greetings from Chapel Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Is that you?
Yep.
I love that one. It's on. He's not here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Call back
yeah,
to the
yeah.
Blue Cups.
Yep.
It's like a postcard.
It is, in fact, an actual postcard. It's a guy, a German illustrator named Kurt Teich, who he created that whole. I mean, you see him everywhere. If you go to Austin, I think that was where the first one kind of happened in the United States. But when you see like a name in the lettering has iconography of that spot. So
Yeah.
like if you see Austin, you see like, I don't know what's in Austin. All right, let's go with Chapel.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
But in the C, there's the old well, and in the H, there's the bell tower. Like Kurt Teich, this illustrator, created that thing. So I got that job because I sort of pushed it on the town.
Push it, baby.
Yeah. That's kind of what you have to do.
We support pushing things on the town, don't we, Deej?
Bum, 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 bum,
Surely.
bum.
Yeah, so it was a postcard. He's a postcard guy.
You have 3 murals on the Carrboro Chapel Hill Mural Hall of Fame.
Man, you're awesome.
Is that
Thanks,
cool?
buddy. I appreciate that.
Let's play some music. Deej, he is also a drummer in a band, in
right.
multiple bands, he says.
Two exactly.
Let's hear one of them right now.
Turns out Scott Nurkin is in Metallica. He replaced Lars Ulrich.
What?
Is that not right? That's what it says here on this.
My bank account doesn't
No.
follow what you're saying.
Who told me that? Deej, who does the
All right,
research for the
hey,
show?
I'm calling Kirk Hammett, and he's getting a piece of my mind.
We're going to spin. He's actually in Birds of Avalon, Measures of the Same, and then we'll chat some more.
Bring it on.
Something to sell, serious, 'cause you're
Deej. That was Birds of Avalon,
Yeah.
featuring Scott Nurkin on the skins.
You can tell that the drummer is a muralist.
You can tell. How does that work, Deej? Explain that to the audience.
It's just got a je ne sais quoi.
He's just got
I can't explain it in
Paint
words.
a real vivid picture.
It's like dancing about accounting. You just got to listen.
So you're in two bands, Birds of Avalon and
Dynamite Brothers.
are you currently performing or?
Oh, well, Dynamite Brothers, I literally left rehearsals with them. Well, not rehearsals, we're recording at my house tonight for some stuff. Birds of Avalon are on hiatus. I guess that's the best word. We have been since COVID. But that band is interesting because there's two married couples in that band. It's a Fleetwood Mac situation.
Or ABBA.
Or
Yeah.
I guess. But there's also, but I'm the drummer and the bass player and the keyboardists are married and the two guitar players are married. So there's also another drummer. But they
Multiple drummers?
yeah, two drummers. And then the Paul and Cheedy, who are in the band.
What's up,
own
Paul and Cheedy?
Garland in Raleigh, which I'm going to give a shout out tonight because
Do it,
they
baby.
just announced yesterday they're closing a restaurant, which is the best restaurant in North Carolina.
Oh.
Cheedy is a James Beard Award 3-time nominee.
Nice.
But they're moving on. Anyway, so they've kind of focused on that project, and so we haven't been able to play very much.
Right on. I have a couple gigs to plug real quick. Two events, Deej. Scott, have you ever played disc golf?
Hell yeah.
Saturday, August 27th. This station, the one you're in right now, is having a fundraiser at the Anderson Park Disc Golf Course. It's the WCOM Classic, Deej. It's an awesome tournament. This is our second year. Last year we had 72 participants.
Wow. Okay.
If you're interested, we'd love to have you in the field. There's a singles division, casual singles, competitive singles, and a team division.
Chris, are you good at disc golf?
I'm average at disc golf. I'm good at getting people to come to things.
How about you, DJ? You good?
I've never done like a full game. I like throwing frisbees around.
Deej
but
is a-
we'll see how it goes.
He's more of a softball guy.
I'm a baller. I'm a ball player.
Because this station, man, we're broke. We need money. We're
What?
so poor. Yeah, we're so
This
poor.
place?
Yeah. I mean, look at this ficus.
Get out of here, bro.
This is the big
My
leagues,
partner,
brother.
Jenny Cook, tries to sell this ficus every week.
Well, who paid for all this catering?
Did you enjoy our green room,
I
by the way?
mean, I'm on the second bottle of champagne. But
Folks, we sent Scott to the nearest hotel just to use the bathroom. But anyway, so we have this disc golf tournament as a fundraiser every year. It is a lot of fun. And the band that we started at the beginning, the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, one of the dudes in that band, Alan, is like practically a pro disc golfer. So I'm trying to get him out there. But we do. A bunch of friends are
our
coming.
pro.
It's going to be friends. Jenny Sequoia is going to be spinning tunes all day at the pavilion.
sounds like fun.
That evening, my band is playing at Ruby's at
Hold on,
5
buddy.
Points,
Who's your
downtown
band?
Durham. We're the Blind Tigers.
The Blind Tigers.
We're a karaoke band.
Oh,
So none of us can sing. You come, be our lead singer. We'll do the rest.
wait. So you guys just do
Yep.
whatever song?
We have about
Hey, play Eye of the Tiger.
we have about 100 songs that we know. They're on the wall. You pick a song we know how to play. Come
Wow.
up, sing for us.
And every month they add songs.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
all right,
it started out as 40. It's up to 100.
Yeah.
Whatever you're seeing in your head right now, it's
Yeah.
the awesomest version of that.
Do you do What a Fool Believes?
No. We did.
But if you give him a song, I talked to your main guy. He was like, "We'll try to learn it by next month."
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to do a China Grove just to get some doob in there,
Good one.
but
You gotta do the dubs.
yeah.
What's your instrument?
I'm a bass player.
Right on.
He is the bass player. In fact, if your bands don't work out, I could see a little connection here. Got the rhythm section right in front
They're
of
not
me.
working out, so yeah. Let's
All
do it.
right.
Although that song was dope that we
Get in
just
touch.
heard.
That was a dope song.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
One more quick plug, and then we'll move
Yeah,
on.
plug skis.
So a good friend of the show, Will Overman. You remember we had him?
I do, yeah.
He lived in Carrboro.
Very
He played
talented
the Cat's
musician.
Cradle back in the day, so he's got a couple gigs coming up. I'm really excited about this for Will Overman. He'll be in Asheville
Heard of it?
September 1st, and then straight to at the ISIS Music Hall. That they should consider changing that name. And then the following night, Elkin, North Carolina. Deej, you've been there.
Never heard of it.
Emerald Isle the following night, but the gig I'm excited about, the Poorhouse in Raleigh.
Ooh, good spot.
Sunday, September 4th. So that's a buddy of ours, Will Overman.
Great sound system.
Good guy, good sound out of Virginia,
Yeah.
and so he's on tour.
Cool.
So I wanted to plug that.
All right.
Nurkin, so your website is themuralshop.com.
Think so.
So you've got your work that's out there. But again, we're in a town, in my opinion, that there's always room for more. But there's a decent amount of murals that are out there. So what is the relationship among muralists? So when you, like right now, right across from where we're sitting is a beautiful mural on the side of Gray Squirrel. When you see other people's work, is it like
I love it.
good for them or screw them? I wish it was my work that
Oh,
was
no,
there.
no, that's not my thing. I'm all about it. More murals, the better. I mean, Michael Brown's got one right there, and as I mentioned earlier, he was like my mentor. So
We should probably refer to him as the legendary Michael Brown at this
go
point.
for it, man. He's the legend, Michael Brown. I don't.
Is he the GOAT?
The greatest of all time?
He's my mentor. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. I love
Okay.
the guy to death. He's great.
All right.
But I want to see murals everywhere. I mean, I don't feel like I have to stick a flag in the sand and be like, this is my.
It's
territory.
not a competitive like.
It's competitive. Don't get me wrong, but I personally am like, the more the merrier. It's like all rising tide. Lifts all boats. for
Okay,
sure.
but is there because I noticed on the mural shop, your website, is that all your work or is there some other artists on there too?
Oh no, that's all me.
That's all your stuff. Okay, so is there a networking group for do muralists go to a convention every year or chat or no, seriously, grab a beer or is there a consortium?
No, I think just like bands. I mean, muralists or artists gravitate towards one another because we all have similar interests. So I'll see somebody. By the nature of what I do, I've befriended tons of muralists in the area, in the region.
Yeah.
And then you look online. If somebody likes your stuff, they might comment on it, and you sort of become friends that way. It's really similar to the sort of the networking and the veins of like bands and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
Can you walk around town and see a piece of art, be like, oh yeah, that's John, that's Frank. That's
Yeah, that was Eric's.
I can definitely pick out Michael Brown stuff, but I mean, yeah, sure, kind of, yeah. Everybody has their own style, and it's kind of easy to. After a while, you can kind of notice it.
I thought we agreed to call him the legendary.
Sorry about that. Did we agree to that?
You blew it, brother.
Well, no, it was just a 1 out of 3. We didn't actually vote. We're going to vote at the next song.
Call him Michael Brown.
All right. Let's talk about colors.
Okay. Colors.
What?
The movie Ice-T?
Are there colors that you prefer to work with? You don't like working with?
I love that.
I am a nightmare
I
walking.
hate blues, man.
You hate blues? Okay.
I think he's joking.
I'm joking.
Because he's wearing 75% blue.
He is. Me too. Me too.
30% blue,
More than-
75% tan.
I'm wearing all blue.
Is that Carhartt?
I don't think so. I don't know, man.
Is this a Smurf convention?
Dude, I don't know. No, to
Color.
answer your question, I don't have any bias towards any colors.
Okay.
But do certain color come off the wall better?
Do people want to see colors or not want to see
Guys,
colors?
These are questions I've never been asked before.
Yeah.
Look at my screensaver.
It's beautiful.
You
Love
like
it.
that? Deej.
Nice.
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know what colors pop off the wall better than others. I think if you put a bright color on a wall, people are gonna love it.
Okay. Now, do you think about if the sun is this is a west-facing wall over here, maybe
Sure.
the PM sun will hit it a certain way, anything like
There's
that?
definitely an issue with discoloration over time.
Okay.
Yeah, the sun will definitely fade out your mural after a while.
And also peeling. So how often do you maintain when someone
guarantee is
hires
10
you?
years.
Okay.
You do a 10-year guarantee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what I do will last a minimum of 10 years and hopefully longer than that. But if you expect it to be perfect after 10 years, you're going to be sadly.
But 5 years in, how big of a deal is it to go to the site and scrape off the loose shit and then?
That doesn't happen that often. I mean,
Really? Okay.
the stuff I use really high quality stuff, and a lot of the stuff it's graffiti paint, and they make graffiti paint strictly for longevity. It doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it's meant to last. It's built to last. So
While we're chatting, I'm going to lay down a little link ray.
give it
But
up.
I feel like we could lay it down. I will start high, and then
Yeah?
we'll lay it down while we talk.
All right. Yeah, start out high to kind of drown out the conversation and kind of interrupt
What?
things.
What,
And then,
Deej?
no,
Folks,
just,
DJ side. Okay. here we
just as it gets awkward, you can turn it down and we forgot what we're
go.
talking
Is it weird enough?
Almost.
Okay, wait.
8 more seconds. All right, I think we're there.
We're there. God is working on a series of musicians, I think, including Link Ray.
We're doing our best to get Link Ray done. Yeah. He's
Where?
Done, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're working on a piece in a town like Dunn or an area like Dunn, I don't know. Give me the detail. Like, how long does it take from start to finish?
It's complicated because every town is different. And they're all really usually typically small towns.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of crazy politics going on. With Dunn, for example, well, I'll tell you something like a place like Shelby, North Carolina, where Don Gibson and Earl Scruggs are from.
Yes.
They had money already set aside for a street project. They were ready to roll, and they had been so helpful and supportive. So those were real easy to send off.
Yeah.
And we got them done real quickly.
Well, what's real quickly, Scott?
You mean how long does a mural take?
Yeah.
Like typically a week.
Do you go and come home every night, or crash at a hotel, or?
No, I usually, if it's far enough, I'll stay there. I probably won't come back if it's further than 2 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
The less days you're there.
Well, it's just cost-wise, it just doesn't make sense for me to drive back and forth that much.
Right on.
But like, so if it was Dunn, so Dunn is a weird place because Link Ray has kind of a turbulent history with his hometown.
He's a turbulent guy.
He was. But he
no longer with us.
no longer with us, but he was undeniably like one of America's greatest musicians, and probably set the stage for so many people after him.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of rock and roll wouldn't have existed without them.
Right. Find a guitarist who doesn't credit Link Ray as.
Well, it just, the lineage is there. But Dunn is just like a small town. They don't have a lot of money, and a lot of those people don't recognize the fact that Link Ray was such a superhero. So when you go to them and you say, I really think your town deserves to put this mural up. It could help everything, and it's not going to be super expensive, but it's really going to commemorate this legend from your town. It should be a win-win, slam dunk, and you usually have most people saying that is a great idea, but then you have a pushback of people saying, well, it doesn't. It's going to cost money, and do we really need to spend money here when we really need to fix our roads?
Right.
So it can be a little difficult.
But now, by the time they've come to you, particularly these small towns, haven't they already fleshed all that out over the last couple of years?
No one comes to me. I'm usually going to them.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Because I created the whole thing out of thin air. I mean, no one, like I was like, we got to commemorate these musicians.
Right.
So I started the project, and I kind of, made it all happen in these towns. And I'm hoping that towns eventually will come to me and say, like Kannapolis saying, hey, we need a George Clinton mural, but that's just not happening.
Yeah.
And so I have to knock on these doors constantly. And believe it or not, it's way harder than you'd think.
Oh, no, I believe it.
I could see it because George Clinton, he's all about the psychedelia. I feel like to really do him justice would probably be a lot of pressure.
Well, in that particular town, it was sort of like, I was like, if we find me a wall, we can find a little bit of financing if you kind of meet us halfway or something. They're like, well, we just built a baseball stadium.
Yeah,
So
right.
we don't have any money for it.
We're not building
Knights.
anything for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gaining momentum, and we just partnered with the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources, and
Ooh, sweet.
So hopefully there's a little bit of momentum there, and it'll open some more doors. We'll see.
So, Scott, you mentioned a place for a mural. What makes it a good spot?
High visibility,
Okay.
so like a lot of foot traffic. Like that's a great spot.
It is.
Because obviously 150 people walk by there every day. Probably a lot more than that. But,
Probably every hour.
yeah, I mean, you don't want, like, I'll give you an example. We did a mural in Marshville of Randy Travis.
Mm-hmm.
And I met with the townspeople, and they were like, yeah, we love the idea. Let's show you a couple of municipality buildings or whatever. And they drove me way out into the country and, like, drove me to a baseball field. And they're like, let's put them on the back of this dugout. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's cool, but no one's in this.
8 guys will see it.
Yeah, so I really push for it to be on this building that's right off 70. That it gets, I'm not exactly what I say. I think it's like 40,000 cars pass it every day.
Right.
Yeah. This is where you want it to be.
All right.
So luckily they kind of, we did some wheeling and dealing and made it happen. But yeah, I want it to be in a place where people can see it.
Sure. Any factors other than visibility, like an angle or anything that comes to mind?
If the wall doesn't, I'd like for it to be flat and not 3-dimensional.
Sure, yeah.
I did a mural of Del Reeves in Sparta, North Carolina, not too long ago, and
That's fantastic.
It's a beautiful town, and they really wanted the mural in this specific spot, which was a bit troublesome because it was like river rock, meaning that the rock wasn't flat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to describe it over the radio, but so that was a challenge. Yeah, ideally you want it to be flat.
It seems like a south-facing wall would take more punishment from the sun than a north-facing. Is that
For solar panel?
I guess it depends on the time of year.
Reasons.
But I mean, it's
south-facing gets more sun?
Yeah.
But a lot of factors. If there's a building in the way, and the you'll get some like light for 3 hours of the day, or if there's a tree or a forest or something like that.
Yeah.
And what are the other big challenges? So, okay, it's all right, Town of Dunn. I'll be there from September 1st till September 7th. I'm going to knock it out. I've got my materials. You know how to get your materials. Is it, can you work in the rain? Can you work in the sun? Can you work in the snow? Like, give us the day in the life of Scott Nurkin. What are the big challenges?
I mean, you name it. It's been a challenge.
What
definitely.
can't you work through, Scott?
Racism.
Really? Like
Yeah,
you're putting
man.
up you're putting up a black person, and then here comes.
Yes, that's been one of the biggest problems.
So you haven't
It's
had that
like,
problem in
in a
Carrboro.
place
huh?
like, I don't want to, but at a place where you're like, I want to put a beautiful black man on the wall that is in a predominantly white section of town.
That could
can
be
a big
seriously.
issue.
Someone will come and throw things at you, or
Oh,
yell
dude,
at you.
I mean, there's been a lot of problems.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, luckily in this current times in Black Lives Matter and all sorts of movements recently, things have been slightly easier. But I mean, there's still pushback. I'm dealing with very, very small towns.
Yeah.
And you go into a town where there's no public art,
Right.
and I'm saying, hey, you know what? This person who happens to be black is
from-
the most famous person
Yeah.
from this town.
Yeah.
Let's commemorate him. And
Yeah.
then there's like, I don't know. I mean,
But now you're going to like town council meetings at Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
like-
Where do you pitch?
usually we try and suss out the town manager or a
Yeah.
mayor or somebody like that. And ideally, the smaller the committee, the better.
Yeah.
If you got like more than 4 people voicing an opinion, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try and keep it small and just kind of low impact, bang it out, and then get out of there. And then there's a lot of hemming and hawing afterwards, but it's done. So what are you gonna do?
It's funny. I experienced a little bit of that. So I develop solar farms for a living,
Oh.
and a lot of them are in really, really small communities and small counties. And I have to go in front of like the board of commissioners to get a zoning permit. Solar is not quite as controversial as you might think, but there is some controversy.
In West Virginia.
Oh,
Wait a
North
second,
Carolina.
Obama
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
that now?
yeah. We went to one county. There was a North Carolina project
Yeah.
that got national news because a local person showed up at a county meeting to say, "Well, that solar farm is going to suck up all the sun."
Yeah, of course.
Stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
experienced.
ignorance is my number one.
Really?
The number one thing I push back against is absolute ignorance.
See, because for me it'd be cold. Like 20
That would
degrees.
suck.
It's snowing.
I mean, I think it all filters back
Yeah.
into ignorance.
And do you work solo, or do you have like an assistance or a
I
crew?
usually,
Or
yeah, pretty much work by myself.
yeah,
I have a partner named Greg who's sort of like a business manager.
Greg who?
Lowenhagen is his
What's
last
up,
name.
Greg Lowenhagen?
Man, he's gonna be so pissed. I shouted him out. He likes to be behind the scenes. He's been really instrumental in helping me close a lot of these deals.
We'll edit this part out.
I don't
Right.
care. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I forgot his name
But
already.
he's pretty awesome. He started Hopscotch Music Fest.
It's coming up.
Yeah, the new one's coming up. He's not affiliated with it anymore, but he was the founder of it.
I just reached out to Hopscotch to try to get tickets for the WCOM Classic
man, well,
as
I'll try and put a
giveaways.
good word in
But
for
anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please.
Go on,
It's
Scott.
fine. Whatever. But he's a longtime friend, and he's a great talker when he gets into rooms. So he's helped me out, like closing a lot of deals.
Was it Greg Leinenkugel?
Sure.
Okay.
Have you been asked to do a mural that you were like, no?
In a town not far from here, about 45 minutes, they asked me to do a Confederate flag. mural.
It's a no-go.
Yeah, that was kind of
Anything else, like not like maybe a little more artistically?
I've
Yeah.
spent so many of my years kind of just slogging through it and just trying to make whatever money. I never said no. I said
Yeah.
yes to everything. So I still kind of have that mentality where I'm like, oh, if I don't do this, the money's going to go away.
Yeah. Very common for
But I'm
artists.
kind of in a position where I can say no to some stuff. And I mean, there's commercial stuff that just is a little, I just don't really feel like it's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I won't.
All right, Scott, someone writes you a blank check and says, paint any mural of anything you want, anywhere
Yes.
you want. What do you put and where?
You know what I really want to do? There's a mural that existed. Are you guys Beatles fans?
Big Beatles fan.
Okay, great.
I'm a Paul guy.
Beatles.
Okay, that's fine.
Never
Don't
heard
worry.
of 'em.
I like all 4 of them.
Yeah.
But Apple Records in 1968 hired The Fool, which was this.
From The Fool on the Hill?
No. It was a Dutch painting company. They called themselves The Fool.
a good
and it was
name.
That's awesome.
2 women and 2 men. They may have been partners. I don't know.
Yeah, like your band.
60s, whatever. But they painted this incredible mural on Apple Records building in downtown London in 1968.
Oh, cool.
It only existed for like a week before it was painted out because they didn't get any regulation, so it didn't do anything. But you can see pictures of it online. It's pretty awesome, and I've always wanted to recreate that mural. I thought it'd be so rad.
That would be cool.
I've tried to sell it to so many people, and they're all like, "That's a great idea, but we're not going to do it."
Can you describe it briefly for the folks at home?
I mean, 60s psychedelic ridiculousness, stars, and like I think there's probably a woman with like 3 eyes or something.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's rad. I mean, it looks really cool. It's more just not that I think the actual painting is the best in the world. I just think the idea of the commemorating something that once existed. I mean, the fanfare behind it alone would be exceptional.
That would be
If
cool.
you had a building and I was like, we're going to recreate this Beatles thing, Beatles
man.
fans would flock to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What
Maybe
if you could-
someday
What if you could paint a mural on Abbey Road? That would be
on the road itself.
just like right where the yeah.
That's a busy
That would be
road,
cool.
though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm firmly against ground painting. I
Okay.
don't like ground painting.
Why is that? Just
My back hurts.
Okay, gotcha. Fair
He
enough.
needs to be up in the air to make things happen, Deej.
Yeah.
Let's hit him with some
more?
Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs.
Scruggs.
All right,
Here we go.
Some more Avalon.
Well, they gave him his orders in Monroe, Virginia, saying, Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. You must put her into Spencer on time. Well, he turned around and said to his fireman, shovel in a little more coal. And when we cross this big wide mountain, we'll watch old 97 roll. It's a mighty rough road from Lynchburg to Danville and lined on a 3-mile grade. It's on that grade that he lost his air brakes. You see what a jump he made. They were going down grade, making 90 miles an hour, when his whistle broke into a scream. He was found in a wreck with his hand on the throttle, was scalded to death by the steam. And a telegram came to Washington City, and this is how it read. The brave engineer that run old 97 is lying in old Danville dead. Now all you ladies, me take warning from this time now and learn. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you, never return.
Now, that's Earl Scruggs, Deej.
Ooh, good stuff.
So far, we focused on musicians, except for Dean Smith that you've done.
Right. Yep. I've done 15 musicians, and he was the second one in the line.
Non-musicians and non-best project in the world that Deej brought up earlier. Who's the next figure in this area that deserves a mural?
Roy Williams.
Okay, that's a good one.
Does he
I
not
have
have one?
I have a different one.
Interesting.
Okay,
He
who did I
should.
say?
Absolutely should.
Deej.
Who?
Besides you.
Right. Who?
Because
Who?
really, someone
No,
should
I'm
make
dying
it.
to know
Who
who
could make a mural? Would you make a mural of DJ Simons? I mean, look at
Money
this
was
guy.
right, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You know?
If the money was right. Here's who I think should be the next person to get a mural.
We're waiting.
Lay it on
In
us.
this area, it's actually two people, both connected to women's UNC soccer.
Oh, of course.
It's going to be Mia Hamm and it's going to be Anson
Yep.
Dorrance.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I can't say no to any of those.
We had
Right.
Anson on this show.
Anson's
He sat in
Yeah.
that chair
He's
about a
awesome.
month ago.
I love him.
He's
So
about he's the soccer coach, I would say.
22 national championships and a World Cup title.
Undeniably.
Not even a local.
He's the Scott Nurkin of women's soccer, I would say.
Wow, dude.
That's what's
You
up.
like that?
I don't even know what to say to that
All
one.
right. The art of mural.
Uh-huh.
Does that go back to cave painting on caves? Is it that old? What's the history of murals?
If we were to take a mural
Yeah,
history
man,
class,
Hey, just take a seat. Here we go.
come on, regale us.
The caves of Lisco.
Yeah, yeah.
No, man, I don't know. Murals, the way they were taught to me, like everyone's familiar with Sistine Chapel.
Sure.
The Sistine
Now, is that a
Chapel.
mural on the ceiling?
Yeah, that's
okay.
the one. It was laid out in grid form, which means like if you have a 1 foot by 1 foot piece of paper and you break it down to 12 inches by 12 inches, then you can transpose that onto a ceiling that's 100 feet by 100 feet. So you put a grid and then you can, if I'm painting your face, I can make sure your eyes line up. That's how you transfer it. When everybody asks, how do you take a small painting and put it on a big painting? It's a grid formation. That's what everyone's always done.
Need an extra bucket for this noggin.
You need a lot of material and space for DJs.
But I don't know where murals started, man. I think it's just when people started.
What's the future of murals? Do you see it changing or evolving in any way, or is it going to?
Great question.
Because what I've noticed before you answer is that, particularly in a lot of bigger cities, there's still a lot of paint, and you work primarily with paint. But I've seen a lot of like canvases that cover the side of a building.
Yeah, I think that's garbage.
So garbage, he says.
Yeah, because it'll deteriorate. I mean, with paint, you can always just paint over it. Like I don't think murals are marble chiseled things. They don't need to last forever. Like I may be in a small camp with this one because I know there was some controversy when one of Michael Brown's paintings was painted over. But I don't think they're not meant to last forever. Paint over them. Like that mural is fantastic. The Elizabeth Cotton mural is fantastic.
But 5 years later, it might be something different as your
Sure,
point.
let it be something different. I mean, paint over it. Who cares? I mean, it should be ever evolving. It doesn't need to last forever. That's the nature of that. It's just paint. You can paint over it. That's what's great about it.
A future of murals. I think,
future murals.
What do you see as the
I
future?
think
dude?
he's the
what's happening
professional.
Is, the integration of AI stuff and
Interesting.
the involvement of like you walking up to a mural and holding your phone and having it be interactive, like a mural,
augmented reality.
Like we've been talking
QR codes.
like doing a mural of Michael Jordan in Wilmington. Of him doing the famous dunk.
Damn it, I should have
with
said Jordan
Him
earlier.
like actually jumping off the wall.
Wow, yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
He's super cool.
I know. It sounds ridiculous, but I mean, really, that's where
But why is there not a mural of Jordan in Wilmington?
we're working.
Or
on it.
here.
Okay.
Is there one here?
I'm working on it.
Let me help.
There's not a
No.
no. There's not one. I tried to get one on Waltz, but it didn't happen.
Listen, if Lionel Kugel can't get it done, get me involved, Scott.
Lionel
I get
Kugel,
things
dude.
done, brother.
Line and Kugel.
Yeah,
Believe it or
Mia
not.
Hamm and Michael Jordan, like they need murals.
And Nancy
those
Dorrance.
two. Yeah, of course. But like,
I mean, after we won the national championship in 15, what the last one we won?
Yeah.
17, what did we win? Doesn't matter. But I put an open call. I was like, just find me a wall and I'll paint Roy Williams on your wall. Because the Dean one I did myself. No one financed it. I paid for it. And I was like, I'll do Roy. Just somebody give me a wall.
Yeah.
And no one has given me one.
All he needs is a wall, Deej.
That's right. Put it
Well,
out to your listeners.
we're in your camp, man. We love your work.
Thank you.
We think you're dope.
Oh,
Believe
man,
it or not, we've
same,
already burned
guys.
through an hour.
Whoa, dude.
where'd the
So
time go?
Scott, I want to plug, and we're going to go out on this
Yeah.
Elizabeth Cotton song, which is going to take 5 minutes. So themuralshop.com, folks. What else?
Social
can we-
media.
Social media, North NC Musician Murals on Instagram. That's the handle there. You can also go to musicianmurals.com. And Scott Nurkin. whatever.
DJ Simon, is anything on your mind?
No, super cool. Where can folks see your work?
Beside Bo
In
Bar.
real life, Bo Bar, where else?
I mean, go to the Musician Murals page and you can go to any of those towns. If you find a musician from North Carolina that you want to see their portrait of, done 15 of them, and I'm hoping to do more. Maybe you can go find them there.
All right, if you need to commission a mural, Scott's your man. Right.
Folks, thank you. We're going to go out on an Elizabeth Cotton song. The reason I love this one in particular is because her 12-year-old granddaughter is the singer, Brenda Evans. Thank you, DJ Simons.
Thank you, Chris.
And how about Scott Nurkin?
Thanks,
Yeah,
let's give him a big hand.
Hell yeah. Thank
Folks,
you, fellas.
have a good
Visit
night.
him online.
Fun.
Pay him to paint stuff.
We'll see you at the Orange County Social Club, maybe.
Probably.
Could
That
be.
could happen.
Have a little song, won't take long. Sing it right, once or twice. Oh, lie to me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in part. Everything I got is done in part. Pawn my watch, pawn my chain, pawn everything that was in my name. Oh, lie to me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my buggy, horse and cart, pawn everything that was on my lot. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my chair, pawn my bed. Ain't got nowhere to lay my head. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my tobacco, pawn my pipe, pawn everything that was in my sight. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven in a ground pea shell. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my farm, pawn my plow, pawn everything, even pawn my old cow. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my hat, pawn my shoes, pawn everything that I could use. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven and I ain't gonna. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Chew my tobacco, spit my juice. Would raise Cain, but it ain't a bit of use. Oh, lot of me did not shake sugary. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn.